Hey family, welcome to my YouTube channel. If it's the first time joining me, welcome. We hope you enjoy it here. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're part of the family, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. Today is very special as it is the first ever episode, the first ever edition of a segment of this channel that I will call Powerful Testimonies. This is very, very dear to my heart. You guys know that I have shared some testimonies of my own, and I'm still here to share some testimonies. But I think it's just beautiful when you guys get to see that this God is not only doing things for me. I'm obviously speaking to people who are having a hard time believing at this point, or people who have never believed. This God is not only doing amazing things in my life, as you've seen me sharing my testimonies, but he's doing amazing things in other people's lives. And so in this first episode, I interviewed, well, funny story, we actually sat down a long time ago, not a long time ago, but like shortly after I started the channel, we sat down and I interviewed her on her testimony, but it didn't go so well. Basically, it just wasn't good enough to go on the channel. So yeah, because of time and our schedules clashing, we ended up having to do it like so. I asked her the questions, and then she just recorded the questions on her own, and then she sent them through. So today we have a very special person to me. She is my friend. Most people probably don't know this. I don't know if people know this or not, but yeah, she is my sister-in-law. And she's an amazing makeup artist, entrepreneur. She is a mom. She wears so many crowns. She's a mom boss. She's a boss, actually. She's just like a boss woman, okay? And yeah, we have Khosi. Most of you know her as Khosi S, but she's Khosi Shabalala. And yeah, she would like to share her testimony, and I am so honored for her to even like come to me and say, look, I want to share what God has done for me. It is very, like, I feel so honored, and it is so special to me. So here's how the interview went. How has this lockdown affected you?
Well, I guess I can say it's affected me in good ways and bad ways. I feel like I've answered this question so many times, but I feel like the pandemic has been good for me. It's really given me time to focus on my craft, to grow my brand, to reconnect with my craft, and yeah, to find ways to take it to the next level. It's allowed me to expand my the services that I offer, in terms of just going beyond just being the girl behind the brush. I'm looking at things differently. I'm looking at the makeup industry, the beauty industry as a whole, as opposed to just this one thing that I've been focused on for over 10 years. So yeah, there's been some good and there's been some bad. I've lost a lot of sleep. My anxiety is at an all-time high. And even though I'm more productive, I'm somehow more anxious about everything. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if that's just a byproduct of being productive. But yeah, it's been mostly good though. It's been good for some of my relationships, maybe not so good for others. But overall, it's been good. It really has. It really, really has.
Am I the only one that's felt a positive shift during this whole time?
No, you're definitely not the only one that's felt a positive shift. For me, things have fallen into place more now than ever. And it's strange because, I'm currently at a point in my life where I've never been as worried as I am at this present moment. But with all the worry, there's been a lot of rewards, like I've seen so many things. I've been so productive during this time that it kind of just surpasses everything else, and just makes it okay. So no, you're definitely not the only one that's felt a positive shift. I think that honestly, for creatives, this has been a really, really amazing time. I mean, I'm definitely one person who's always complaining about not having enough time, not enough hours in my day. I've always got too much to do, and I never get around to doing things that I need to do or that I want to do, simply because life tends to take over stuff. And then you find yourself sitting there having done absolutely nothing, and all this time has gone by. So it's been good to have, the space to actually structure my time productively and actually be able to sit down and execute stuff. Because, you get a lot of ideas, but sometimes, excuse me, sorry. But sometimes the execution is the problem. So you end up with a whole lot of great ideas, but with zero execution. So I've executed a lot during this time. So yeah, I'm really, really happy.
You came to me and you were so, you were in a rush, but you were just so adamant on wanting to share your testimony. And this was even before I started my channel. What made you come to me that morning? What made you want to share your testimony about what God has done for you?
I'm not a religious person, but then I think I have a problem with organized religion in general. I'm more of a spiritual person. I'm somebody who has always felt connected to God, despite perhaps my lifestyle not necessarily being in accordance with what the church would see as a godly life. But I know and I'm clear about the fact that even when I'm doing something bad, God knows my heart. So I don't ever try and hide who I am from him. So that morning I came to you because honestly, at that point, as much worry as I had, God had consistently shown his face to me to a point that I just felt the need to say something, and I always feel like sometimes the message actually means more when it comes from the person that you would least expect, and one of the things that God has done for me during this time is just a never-ending supply of support, of love. Like everything of mine has been taken care of. We've been in quarantine since Feb, so that's March, April, May, June. 4 months now. July, we're starting July next week, and I have not worried about a single thing. I've not had to worry about a single thing. Not food, nothing. Everything has been provided for, even though I have been cut off from my work. Because as you know, I'm a makeup artist, and that means I work with people. So if there's no events, there's no work. And I have 2 kids. 2 kids. I have experienced so many random acts of kindness during this time where a friend will literally be like, here's some money. I've received random e-wallets, random in contacts, like you won't believe. And the thing about me is that I'm not very good at asking for help. Like there's few people here and there that I can go to for help and I can ask for help and I have no shame and I have no problem. Not that I have shame in asking, but asking isn't an easy thing to do. It's, putting yourself down and asking for help is something that I'm not very good at. I'm just so used to doing everything on my own. I'm used to getting up at whatever time of the day that I need to go and work and provide for my children. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. But all of a sudden, not even my hardworking nature could get me out of this mess, But I had so much kindness thrown my way, and I don't want to get into like a long story about everything, but they were, I don't even want to like name names at this point, but you know who you are. You also Koni being one of them, won't get into it, but and I had to put it out there, and I know that God wants us to tell people about him, and I know that God actually wants people like me to be the one to give messages, because we don't look like the typical Christian, right? And I don't like to refer to myself as a Christian. I just feel like I have a good relationship with God. I speak to him. I speak to him as a friend. I speak to him as my father. I speak to him as my counselor, my confidant. And I speak to him as somebody that walks around with me all the time. So I don't even bother lying about, stuff that goes on in my head or whatever, because he knows, So yeah, I really felt compelled to come and speak to you, because I just felt like, why should I keep quiet when God has been so good to me? Like, his blessings have not been private, so why should my praise be private? Why should I keep it to myself? Why should I, care what people may think based on what I say? Because he doesn't care what other people think when he stands by me, and he doesn't flinch from my side when it's time to protect me or when it's time to stand in the gap for me, which is what he's done with every single person that he's put in mine and my children's lives. They have stood in the gap for us. We have not wanted for a thing. God is real, guys. And I'm not even saying this for anything other than just to tell you that he is real, he is present, and he will pick you out of 1,000 if it's you that he wants. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. But it was just something that I felt compelled to say. I mean, I just felt like it was timely, especially because you also told me when you told me what your channel was going to be about, I immediately knew that you were the person I needed to tell my story to, So yeah, everything in the fullness of his timing.
Any last words of encouragement?
I was scrolling on my timeline the other day on Instagram, and I came across this post, and I remember sending it to you, Kwani, that said that basically the gist of it was that it's important to pray to be ready for the blessing in as much as you pray to God to bless you. And I know we're often remiss about that. We don't ever think about how we could mess up our own blessings just because we're not ready or we haven't prepared for it and all those things. So yeah, I just want to encourage you that even if your blessing hasn't come, it's coming. So while you're waiting for your blessing, prepare for your blessing so that you make sure that when it comes, you see it, first of all, that you recognize it. I think we always have to pray for a spirit of discernment, to be able to see what's for us and what's not for us. So yes, pray to be blessed, but also pray to be ready for that blessing. Pray to handle that blessing accordingly, because even just your personality, who you are and where you are could be the blessing. You just don't know. Our blessings come in many different ways, in many different forms. And I think we often think of blessings as something big, like money in your account or a new job or whatever. Life is a blessing, guys. And, last year I lost 2 people that I love dearly. And it definitely brought home to me that life, or rather tomorrow, is promised to nobody. So while you're waiting for your tomorrow, live today, because today is here now. You don't want it to be a yesterday just because you were not present and you were too worried about tomorrow and what tomorrow would bring. Tomorrow will take care of itself. God's got you, and yeah, just stay strong and prepare for the blessing. It's definitely coming. Bye.
Wow. Thank you so much, Khosi. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your testimony. I really, really appreciate it. I feel honored for you to just trust me with your testimony and trust all of my family, because, obviously it's not only for me, but my subscribers, all of you guys. So I really just want to say thank you. And, I think what I love most about Khosi's testimony is she says, she's not no Bible basher. She's not your average, Christian, or she actually doesn't even like to refer to herself as a Christian. And yet God is such an important part of her life, and she has actually allowed God to a rule in her life, and she's allowed God to manifest whatever that he wants to do in her life. It's not easy when you find yourself in difficult times to trust and to see the bright side of everything. But I think a lot of people during this whole pandemic have felt a really good, shift despite everything that's been going on. Myself, like, I feel like I'm closer to God than ever before. You guys know this. And honestly, I know I'm not the only one. Sometimes God will use your moment of peril to bring you closer to him, to make you realize that you need him. Okay? And sometimes, he will use those times to build character, to make you stronger, or just maybe to prepare you for the future, whatever he has in store for you. Sometimes you have to go through the fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that Khosi has really taken this time to reflect and to just realize what's important, and then to strategize going forward. We'll see how is she going to go about, her business and everything going forward. I think another lesson that I've learned is that God will use you to bless others indirectly, and never ever decline. Never ever decline. When God touches you and says, help this person, do it. There's a reason for that. There's a reason God is saying help this person. Oftentimes I myself have found myself thinking, but this is my last, or this is, but because I know, I've seen, and honestly, fam, I feel like if we can just allow God, if he touches you and says do it, do it. Trust me, it'll come back tenfold. Trust me on this one. I've experienced it so many times. That's another thing that I learned from Khosi's story. So yeah, thank you once again, Khosi. You are one strong woman. I always tell you this, and you're one of the most hardworking people I know, and I know that God will bless you. I know that he has amazing things in store for you. And just thank you so much for sharing your story. If you would like to share your testimony, if you would like to trust me with your testimony, please come through and let's just minister through our experiences. Let's minister through the things that God has done for us. Let's not keep quiet about them. Don't keep quiet about them, because how else are other people going to know that this God that we serve is amazing? How else? If you would like to share your testimony, even if it's anonymous, that's okay. I will tell it for you. Come through and share your testimony with us. If you are led to share your testimony, please do contact me. Email me, send me an email, or send me a DM on Instagram. It's up to you. Thank you so much, family, for tuning in to our very first episode of Powerful Testimonies. I hope you did enjoy this. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be blessed. I love you so much, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.